I'm noticing more and more damaging hair trends. Secretly damaging hair tools, expensive scalp treatments, and products being marketed to do things they definitely don't do. And this isn't happening naturally. Social media is starting to prioritize shopping content over regular content to make more money. That means if creators want more views, they have to sell you stuff. But a lot of the stuff is terrible for your hair. So today I'm debunking the 7 most popular trends that are destroying people's hair, starting with hair trend number 1. The other day I had a client come in and show me this new dry shampoo that she was using. It's called Briogeo Style and Treat Dry Shampoo Puff. What's new about this trend is that it's a bunch of dry shampoo powder in this little padded container that you tap onto your hair to apply the dry shampoo. So you're rubbing this thing all over your dirty hair to make it clean. But the next time your hair gets dirty, you're doing the same thing with the same pad. And you do this until it's empty. So if a can lasts you about 2 months, you're rubbing 2-month-old hair oil right back into the hair that you're trying to get clean. Leslie and I were actually in Sephora the other day where they had one of these out as a tester. So everybody can come rub their dirty hair all over this applicator. So I'm standing there watching person after person, including Leslie, rubbing it all over their dirty hair to see what happens.
I feel attacked.
And I'm wondering to myself, like, who decided that this was actually better than aerosol cans? Like, why are we trying to push this on people, telling them, like, it's cute because it fits in your purse or your pockets or whatever?
The real question is, who decided this is a good thing to leave out as a tester?
What are you doing? The funny part is, I finally found out the reason when I talked to the factory that makes my hairline for me. They told me that there's actually a national shortage of aerosol manufacturers. So a lot of these like second-tier brands are having to switch from aerosols from dry shampoos to these rubbing powders. And that's why they're actually pushing this on you. And by the way, if you thought not cleaning your brush was gross, this is even worse. Rubbing a month or 2 of buildup back into your hair does not make it clean. So please stick to sprays when it comes to dry shampoo if you're trying to get clean hair. Trend number 2. One of the biggest trends in hair care right now is scalp health. A healthy scalp grows stronger hair and supports proper hair growth. One of my clients that we'll call Dot told me about a new scalp care place that opened up in the town next to mine. Basically, they have this fancy stuff and they use a camera to show you how gross your scalp is and like how clean they're gonna get it. And at the end, they try to sell you like 4 or 5 different scalp products. And believe it or not, Dot was down for the cause and she bought all of them.
Dot sounds a lot like me.
That sounds a lot like you. And she's telling me, Chris, my scalp has never felt better. You need to start carrying these scalp products, I'm telling you. And I'm shocked, like, okay, like I've never heard of a lot of this stuff. This is kind of new. I need to look into it. Anyway, next time she comes back to my salon, I go, hey, how's the scalp stuff doing? Have you learned anything new? She looks at me a little weird and she's like, scalp stuff? What do you mean scalp stuff? I'm like, last time you were in here, you couldn't stop talking about your scalp products. Don't you remember? She's like, oh yeah, I remember now. Nah, I'm not really using those anymore. They didn't do anything. And this is your warning right now. This is a major trend where hair companies are pushing a ton of scalp products like this, and they're going to push it hard. They're going to tell you how terrible your scalp is and that all your problems will be solved with these products, and it'll make your hair better, and you'll find a husband, and you'll be living happily ever after.
Sign me up.
But what's really going on is these products are super profitable because you have to use them every time you wash. So you go through it really quickly, and this is kind of like the holy grail for L'Oreal hair executives. The truth is that unless you have some condition, your scalp is not that bad, and you don't need any of these scalp products, especially the ones that exfoliate, because they can irritate your scalp, get it all red, and cause hair loss. Do not let the scalp care trend steal your money and ruin your hair. You've been warned. Trend number 3. The hair tools that you use on your hair matter a lot. And more recently, we've been seeing a trend of really expensive hair tools that claim to have safe heat. GHD and Dyson are the kings of these overpriced tools. Back when the Dyson Airwrap first came out, I bought it right away and called down a friend so I could try it on her hair. We used the Airwrap on the left side of her hair, and we used a much cheaper tool on the right side of her hair so we could compare. When you see the results side by side, it's actually really obvious that the Dyson didn't do as good of a job as the cheap tool. It was way frizzier and not nearly as shiny as the cheap tool side. But that doesn't really make sense. If the Dyson is so much more expensive, shouldn't it give way better results? The answer is actually this safe heat technology that they added. And it turns out that the way they keep your hair safe is a special heating element.
Go on.
What makes it special is that it's really weak. It maxes out like 10 degrees cooler than any other tool. And that's kind of like Ferrari saying, we found a way to make our cars way safer. But what they didn't tell you is that they put a tiny lawnmower engine in there so the car just can't go fast. So the Dyson is just a weaker version of normal tools. You could get the exact same results with this cheap tool if you put it on the low setting. And GHD is guilty of overcharging for the exact same thing. The Platinum Styler is advertised to be safer than other flat irons. And if you're willing to pay $280, you can flat iron the healthy way. But what is the healthy way? It's just a weaker heating element. It's permanently stuck on low temperature. GHD basically said, hey, you know how I can change the temperature on most irons? Get rid of that, charge double the price, and we'll call it safe. But here's the evil part. It's not safe.
Is it safe if I put my hand on it?
No.
Can I touch that iron? Can I touch that iron?
Think about it like this. If you turned your oven down 10 degrees, would you be able to skip the oven mitts? Of course not, you just get burned. And it's the exact same thing with this safe heat that's a little bit cooler than most tools. I've seen way too many clients fry their hair because they believed this heat was safe when it was not. So please, don't get suckered into buying expensive heat tools that claim to be safe when they're not. And definitely don't get fooled by this next trend that's even worse. Trend number 4. Sometimes in hair, things that sound like a great idea are actually horrible. I have a client that we'll call Agatha, who's kind of a hippie type that's all about saving the environment. And she tells me, Chris, I'm experimenting with natural hair products. She had been using rice water for hair growth, aloe vera because she heard that it moisturized her hair, and she has an avocado hair mask to pull it all together. Before her appointment, she's like, can we use as little normal products as possible? I'm trying to only use natural ones. I'm like, sure, what products do you want me to skip? She says, pretty much everything except shampoo and leave-in conditioner. I'm like, okay, we can do that, but your hair's gonna be really dry. Are you sure about this? She goes, yeah, of course I'm sure. I want my hair to be healthy. And I'm thinking, how exactly is dry hair healthy? But I go ahead and do it anyway. At the end, her hair is so dry that I had to ask, are you sure you don't want some oil for moisture or anything? She's like, no, it's much healthier if I just stick to natural products. A few months later, she comes in and she's like, look what I got. This time we have everything we need. Luckily, she didn't bring in her avocado hair mask, but she had products from Honest Company and Lanza that are supposed to be all natural. At the end of the appointment, her hair basically felt like straw. And when she touched it, she was like, maybe this is gonna take some time for my hair to adjust to. And at this point, I really can't take it anymore, so I'm like, I really don't think so, Agatha.
Not today, Agatha.
Not today.
Or any day.
Because when it comes to hair, there is no adjusting. If you have a good product, you'll know it on the first wash. Natural products are not good products. They're actually just playing a trick on you. They know that you already associate certain foods with health. So they're like, hey, avocado is healthy for your body, put it on your hair. It'll be healthy for that too. And you haven't really thought about it, but you're like, okay.
I'll buy two.
Why not? The problem here is that your hair does not have a digestive system. It doesn't actually eat food or even have a mouth. So rubbing healthy foods along your hair, like, come on, eat your vegetables, actually makes your hair worse. Natural products never get your hair clean or moisturized, so it gets dry and brittle, and if you use it long enough, your hair will start to break off in your brush. Trend number 5. Dry hair is one of the most persistent hair problems my clients struggle with. One of them that we'll call Pearl came in saying, hey Chris, I don't know what's going on. My roots are getting really oily and my ends have never been this bad. What do you think it is? So I ask her, have you made any changes to your routine? She goes, yeah, I started oiling my hair before I wash, but I don't think it's that. Oiling should have made my ends better, not worse. But that's exactly what it was. Pre-wash hair oiling was actually ruining her hair. She was putting a bunch of hair oil on her hair to shield it from getting dried out by the shampoo. But here's the thing, she still had to get all that oil out of her hair to get it clean. And the only way to get the oil off her mids and ends was to put shampoo directly on them. and that's a horrible thing to do because it strips the natural, healthy moisture from the inside of the hair and dries it out. And some of you at home may say, well, Chris, regular washing strips moisture too, but it actually doesn't strip nearly as much as hair oiling, and here's why. With a regular wash, you only have oil around your scalp and maybe a little bit of product buildup on your mids and ends, meaning you only directly apply shampoo to your roots, which are nice and healthy and very hard to strip moisture from. Think about it. When was the last time your roots were dry like your ends? It doesn't really happen. And in a regular wash, all you do to get your mids and ends clean is bring down a little bit of suds and bubbles from the top of your head, which is not strong enough to strip moisture from your mids and ends. So I told her, Pearl, there's no reason to waste all this oil and then waste extra shampoo getting it all out just to make your ends dry. She went back to washing normally, and by her next appointment a couple months later, her ends had already started to look a lot better. Life was good again. Trend number 6. This is one of the most out of control trends in hair right now because it's gotten to the point where people don't even understand what these products do anymore. In an older video, I was talking about this hair serum from Kerastase, and somebody commented, this doesn't make any sense. This is a hair growth product. Why aren't you talking about growing hair? And my answer was, because it's not a hair growth product. It has absolutely nothing to do with hair growth. She replies, okay, well, then why is it trending on TikTok as a hair growth product? And she actually got me for a second. I'm like, wait, why is it trending as a hair growth product? So I go on to check it out, and just to make sure, I go to the official Kerastase website. There's nothing about hair growth. The hair actually looks longer in the before pictures, believe it or not. So I'm like, where the heck are these people even coming from? It makes no sense. And it turns out that hair growth posts get like 10 times more views than any other hair videos. So you end up with all these videos with people that are willing to say anything is a hair growth hack because they know it gets more views. But all of these hair growth trends are a complete lie. So if you want to grow your hair faster, there's no magic pill, there's no shortcut. You just need a solid hair routine and patience. Stop ruining your hair chasing after shortcuts.
Stop cutting your hair to get it longer.
The logic. All right, if you need help choosing products that actually work for your specific hair type, check out my recommended product list. It's in the description. It'll walk you through everything. Have a good one. Take care.